All right, so before any trade, I always look at the longer time frame. So if you guys are new to my layout, the bottom right is the daily time frame. Um, and one thing I liked about it is zoom down to the 1 hour. On the 1 hour, we had this retest of the open price basically. I'm gonna actually let this play out. Remove replay. Yeah, I called this hour on. It was 11:33, so it's about right here between these two candlesticks. So we had a retest of this 5-minute open, which is what I usually like to see. A retest of any 5-minute or 15-minute open, which we got in both scenarios. I actually did not expect this to sweep the low, and my target would have been a retest of this 5-minute high, which usually we get very quickly. Actually, in SPY, we would have traded SPY, we actually would have got that instantly. So this would have been my trade on SPY. QQQ, unfortunately, we did not get that. I think I called out 481.54. Yeah, that was open this 5-minute. And on the 15-minute, we had basically this imbalance right here. So that's why like retesting this 5-minute plus sometimes all the way up to this 15-minute would be good areas to scale out. And then the reason, why does it keep doing that? The reason I got out of this because we had this 15-minute candle closer right before, right below these data lows. So at 8:30 we had news. I posted it early this morning. I don't really like trade based on news. I just basically trade the price action. But generally speaking, we usually do end up sweeping either the high or the low, the high and the low of the data point. Well, if we close below it, we can continue having like a bearish day. So once that 15-minute candle closed, I just limited out at this 5-minute retest. I think it was like 85 cents here. I just got it like around $1. But I actually was expecting this to go lower now. Even though I was bullish in the daily, just the way this closed, I didn't like it. Okay, I guess any questions on that analysis? I mean, also it was quite unfortunate that we had VWAP here. I mean, I usually don't trade the VWAP, but I noticed on the 1 minute we were smacking it pretty hard. I was just expecting it to pop and at least retest this 5-minute open. Any reason to go puts for a quick scalp? It's way too late for 0 to T. If you want to trade anything, just do like one contract. Too risky. Not saying like this trade wasn't risky, but now especially, like you got less than 2 hours. Is the imbalance on the ascending or descending candle? Talking about this one? It's on this bearish candle. So you pull the opening low or high and use it as a market for support. Yeah, and you can use the like the opening of the candlesticks. Like that's why I trade based off of. So let me show you the one for Nvidia because I think that one is a better play. Nvidia, I really liked it because on the daily we swept yesterday's low, and then if you go down to the 5-minute, which is the top left, after we swept that low, we had a bullish engulfing candle. So this was a market structure shift. We actually retested the opening. So technically, this area here would have been the best place to enter, but we don't usually get that retest instantly. Especially in the past when I played a video, like as soon as we close above, we usually just shoot up instantly. But I think the market today was just very choppy around lunchtime. So after we get that market structure shift, you could close at the swing high that caused this bearishness. That would have been here at 119. I don't know why it keeps doing that. At 119.52. The reason I closed at 119.2 is we also had this fair value gap right here on the 5-minute, and I didn't know if we were gonna hit this during today's time frame. I'm like, I'm just gonna get out my profits and I'll just trade tomorrow. What's that? Okay, I was hitting this. I'll keep trying. All right. So let me go over that again. We had a sweep of yesterday's low, so that's a good indicator that we could reverse. We had a market structure shift on a lower time frame, and we should retest swing high that caused this bearishness. And ideally, this actually should keep going too, by the way. So if I was actually, depending on how this closes around 3:30, this may end up being a swing. I may enter again for the swing account. You missed Nvidia trade. It's all right. I mean, the issue with trading like the weeklies on a Monday is really expensive and they don't move as much. Like we got almost $1 move and only 10%. Versus if that would have been on QQQ, that would have been like 30-40% if you're doing 0 DT. Yeah, we can do a dedicated video on that. I don't know. I don't really see myself as like a mentor or teacher, if that makes sense. Like it doesn't come naturally for me to teach. So I like showing just recaps. So if we can like do after hour sessions and I'll just answer questions, I think that's more natural for me. So the swing high is just basically this 5-minute candle is what caused us a break of structure because we started closing below these lows. So you can just put a line at the high of this 5-minute. No, the education channel is under resources. Unless it doesn't have the... You should be able to see that. Well, it's not necessarily the 5 red candles in a row. That doesn't really matter. It's just a candle that caused this move, the first candle. I don't care how long this ends up going. But we will end up retesting that candle that caused it. No, so the news didn't really... The news came out at 8:30. I'm just saying, because of this wick we formed, we generally can end up sweeping the low of that, which we did, but it kept going. So if we would have swept this and just kept and reversed, this play would have still been valid. The reason I closed this is because this candle closed below. Actually, I was looking at the 50-minute. So usually when a candle closes below a key level, it's pretty bearish. Well, I mean, today was choppy and obviously my bias was wrong. I mean, technically it was right, but I was going to hold through this because I didn't know what was going to happen exactly. What you guys want to check out for news, go to forex3.com. Use that website daily, and it will show you any red folder news. So I can open up here. So today, if you would open this website, you would have saw at 8:30, you have retail sales and core retail sales. And tomorrow, we also have, actually this is for Canadian. We don't have any news for the US tomorrow. These usually don't affect market as much. It's just the red stuff. Then Wednesday, 2, we have federal rates, OMC. So around this time, like anytime we have news like this, it's not good to hold positions like before or after. Any hope left for the 1K? Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm still positive on it. It's only been a week. Literally just one good day and it's back on track. You can be behind a few days, but I mean, the goal is still pretty reasonable. 8% a day it's not difficult. You call out limit prices? I did call out for QQQ. And Nvidia, I mean, Nvidia was basically not moving like this whole area. So as soon as I entered it, you would have knew like what price I entered. Or as soon as I called it out, I mean. I think SPY was a lot better than QQQ today. This would have been a lot better. Even on SPY, we didn't take out where the 8:30 data low was. I would have gotten stopped out. Just unfortunate I chose QQQ instead. And also SPY on that 50-minute too. Retested that 50-minute open. This would have been a great entry. Yeah, SPY would have been better. Lesson learned. You were watching SPY too? You know what? I just remembered that actually. I was watching SPY in the morning. Yeah. I don't know what made me switch actually. Yeah, Dak, chat could be insane. I remember last week I called out a swing trade that was like 9 days out for expiration. It was actually QQQ. I think I called it out right here, right? It was Thursday. Yeah, we called it out Thursday. I think I called it around 3:30. So it went down like literally maybe like 50 cents. And the whole chat was just going insane. And I'm like, this is a swing trade. And then look what happened like the next day. It's like, you guys need to like just chillax. I also shared like a quick fact on both challenges. If you look at the pinned messages, basically like what I target, what's my position sizing, um, and like where I aim to get out and get out, or get in and get out. And people still ask like the same questions over and over. But for the swing account, I'm gonna try to aim for at least one or two trades today. I'm gonna allocate 33% on each trade, especially since we don't have news tomorrow. So today is a good day to swing. And I've said this many times before, but I don't trade the first hour of the market because this is not only is it too crazy and like unpredictable, but the options are also really expensive. Sometimes you could have bought calls here and have your direction right, but if it doesn't move aggressively in your favor, it's going to decay extremely fast first hour. I see a lot of people getting into options like literally the first minute of the day. So unless you're getting out like a couple minutes later, sure, but it's just too risky and it's basically a gamble, in my opinion. Like I wouldn't trade open unless you're like doing futures. Video is based on both. I start my analysis on the daily time frame. The daily time frame for Nvidia, we swept yesterday's low. So you can just draw a line to like see these easier when that happens. And then on the 5 minute, we swept the low, and then next 5 minute candle engulfed this bearish candle. So right here is the market structure shift. And ideally you can enter instantly. But optimal entry would be a retest of this 5 minute on the bottom. But we don't always get this. Today was just one of those days. But Nvidia usually likes to just run it instantly. And then I mentioned I would target the swing high of the bearish candle that closed this move down, that caused this move down. How far back you should look? I mean, the closer it is, the more relative it is, because these sweeps are just basically people's stops. So what's today? Today's Monday, right? So maybe people that longed here, Friday, they'd have stops right here. So we literally just stopped them out and reversed. I mean, there could be other areas too, but the closer it is, the more relevant it is. Yeah, this is being recorded. So actually for Nvidia, like I said, I may end up pilling this as a swing. We swept yesterday's low. We can probably target today's high, which was like around here. 22, actually a little bit higher. 23.26. I'm not saying necessarily tomorrow, but probably this week. So I may end up taking like 120 calls expiring either this week or next week. Not now. I'm after for this session. I'll look into plays. Can you tag premium for callouts? What? What do you mean? I'm speechless, man. I don't know what to say. Probably have your Discord notifications off. Can you explain market structure shift one more time? Yeah. All right. This is a good example right here. So QQQ on Thursday. Actually, this is the reason I took those calls, right? It's Thursday? Yeah, that was Thursday. So on QQQ, we swept this low from Tuesday. After we swept the low, the next hourly candle engulfed the previous hour candle. So the candle closed above it. It didn't just wick and go back down. It moved up and closed above it. So this candle would be the market structure shift, which would confirm some type of reversal. Usually the swing high that caused the bearish move, which would have been here. But since the market gapped up next day, we got a little bit higher. And after a market structure shift, you can look for a fair value gap that formed, which was right here. This is just basically an imbalance that has orders resting that need to be filled. Filled all of them, wicked a little bit lower. This can be the retest. This is where we bought around 330. Look at the education channel. A lot of I recommend all those books on there. There's 3. I would start with those. Those are pretty intermediate and beginner friendly. Is it gone? You guys? No, it's still there. You guys probably just hold on. I think I know that. How about now? Check on the resources. Oh my god, you guys see it? Thanks, Cosimo. Just wasted my time. Cosimo's been bullying me since day 1, man. All right. Any other questions? Ideally, based on today's trades. Actually, what's Nvidia do? What are these sitting at? These popped to the 380 contract. Oh, another thing too I want to mention is when I call out something, you guys shouldn't be market buying instantly. You guys have time. I forgot who I mentioned this to, but so I called this at 12:37, I believe. If you want, so you don't like have FOMO, buy one contract and then scale in to other positions here. So that way you don't have FOMO because you got in the trade if it goes instantly. But if you scale in, you get better entry. Like I saw some people that got filled above 3. Like I don't think that should have happened. You guys should have got filled at like a 3 all the way 2.9. Yeah, don't mark and buy. Especially with options, there's no need. Yeah, I start on the daily time frame. So the bottom right chart is usually the daily or the 4-hour. That's what I look at. I have a longer term bias here. And this one remains 30-minute. This one remains 15-minute. This one remains either 1 minute or 5-minute. So that way when I'm looking at a trade, I can like see, I guess, the whole picture. I don't like to get tunnel vision. Like here, if someone saw this on the 1 minute, they probably thought this is extremely bearish. And yeah, it was bearish for like 15 minutes. But now if they were holding this, look what happened. Now everyone that shorted this is probably stuck. But if they would have saw the bigger picture on a daily time frame, they would have understood that like we were just hunting yesterday, Friday's lows. So liquidity, market structure shift, and then a retest of fair value gap. That's the optimal entry or trade. Faded my biggest payout from prop firms. Was probably from Tops Up. Honestly, I think it was like 21K for like 1 week. All of them don't have issues. Tops Up recently has been slow. Trade day in my fund of futures, extremely fast. Tops Up now takes longer than a week. I mean, the 3 prop firms I mentioned, none of them are scams. They're all legit. Top Step, My Funded Futures, and Trade Day. They're all good. Trade Day allows for daily withdrawals once you have a funded account. And for My Funded Futures and Top Step, you have to have at least $200 plus for 5 days. So basically, you have to make money 5 for 5 days before you're able to withdraw. Trade Day, you can make like $500 to withdraw that day. You don't have to wait for any certain amount of days. With futures, a little bit different. I don't really use this because with futures, I'm in and out like so quickly. I basically scalp. Like this would have been extremely good for futures in the morning from the like. I think before I started serving this server, between 8:30 to like 9:30, I would have been done. This is all I actually need. You closed Nvidia already? Yeah, man. Yeah, TopStep has been extremely slow, and I also I don't like their live platform as much anymore. They removed like the calendar dashboard. Their executions are kind of delayed compared to XFA, or just slower, I should say delayed. And they force you to have a 1K max drawdown on the live, which isn't a big deal, but I used to have it on 2K on the XFAs. Because, for futures, I mean, it's just basically scalping. It's marking out levels in the 1 minute, 5-minute. I don't hold anything longer than like 10 minutes because with one NQ contract, like this move alone would have been like $800. So there's no reason to hold anything longer than that. But I wouldn't. If you guys are trading futures, I wouldn't recommend you to trade NQ or ES. You should do the micros. Oops. The micros are a tenth of the size of NQ. And plus, you're forced to close out your positions on prop firms, so you can't hold anything overnight. So, since the futures market is open way before options, you can technically like trade from like 6 a.m. and like be done by like 8:30. Like I used to do that when I used to have a job. I mean, you can get I don't know. It's teaching scalping is a lot more difficult. Here, let's try something. All right, so let's say we're at 9:55 and I saw this bearish candle. I want to see what happens next. See this retest of this candle. I would just like shorted one contract, so 19,802. And I would on top stop, it would instantly put my TP for $150. So that would have been, I think that would have been like literally like 1790. That's 150 bucks. 19,790. And if you look, we don't get it yet. 2 minutes later, that would have been 150 bucks just in one contract. I wait for like some type of candle that gives me some type of like information what's gonna happen next. Get a quick retest, short it, and then instantly scalp. I'm not gonna wait for like this whole move down, even if it may go down. Then I see this. I see we're forming a little bit of resistance here. I may enter a short again. 19,796. Let's see if we hit it. We do hit it. So I would enter 19,796. And then like 1982, I would have covered for another $150. And we hit it literally a minute later. So in literally like 5 minutes, we would have made 300 bucks. Yeah, I mean you can use strategies in ICT for futures. There's just no need because you make money so quickly. Like $150 in 2 minutes, like even that's kind of greedy to be honest. I just get in and get out instantly. Like I know there's a lot of people in the server that hold and they make like 2-3 grand a trade, but I just would not rather hold something for 3 hours. So scalping is a little bit different. Like your risk to reward is almost 1-to-1. You just have to have high percentage. So right now I want 2 trades, right? I would still be a little bit bearish here because I think we can retest like 762 or fill this imbalance below these candles. And right now it looks like this would be engineering liquidity right here. So I'd probably reshort again, like once again, same thing, 19,798. Okay, we didn't get that. Well, if we did, it would have gotten filled. And once we get here, I wouldn't be as bearish anymore because we just fill this imbalance and we're probably like stopping out some traders here. So I might like start scaling in maybe like a contract or two, and then I'll put like a stop below this. Yeah, I would have gotten stopped out here. Yeah, if you do MNQ, it's really fun because this is 1/10 of the size of an NQ contract. You're not really risking as much. If that makes sense. And then if you just like trade, 3 hours a day, you get a better feel of the market. Yeah. Depending on what account size you buy, there are liquidation points. So that's why I tell people to avoid the minis. So don't do ES, don't do NQ until you build cushion on your account. Stick to MNQ and MES. I mean, it's extremely volatile. I mean, look at this. This whole day. This is like scalping paradise right here. You probably could have made easily like 25 trades, futures. Yeah, I definitely recommend more than one contract. So the good thing about micros is you can scale in a lot better. Like, let me show you something. Like, let's say for whatever reason you thought we were gonna pump right here, right? You were bullish here. You bought one contract right here, okay? Let's say your daily loss limit is, I don't know, just say $500, which probably would have been, I think that would have been like around 620. I'm not sure exactly. But you got one contract. Usually I advise not to buy any more than one contract every 5-minute candle. Next 5-minute candle, you're like, okay, we can go a little bit lower. Next 5-minute candle, you think we're gonna bounce. You're now at 2 contracts. But now your entry is a lot better. It's in between these two. You could have gone on break even and re-added lower. But let's say you didn't get on break even. We go back here, you see a sweep and we start bouncing. You can buy another contract here. And eventually we hold above, your stop will be at break even, and you can slowly start scaling out. Maybe one over here, one at the swing high, and then leave a runner. So with micro, since they're a lot cheaper, it's much more easier to manage. You're allowed to withdraw the money once like the day settles. I think it's like around 6 o'clock for all the prop firms. So let's say I was trading on trade day, I made $500. By 6 o'clock, I can make a withdrawal. I don't use hotkeys. Depending on what's it called, like what software you're using, like TopStep, they have their own called TopStep X. As soon as I enter a trade, it automatically puts TP in a stop loss. I don't really need to use hotkeys. I can just drag afterwards. Any reason you were trading mornings instead of evening? Yeah, I mean, I think I usually like the price action in the morning a little bit better. Not always. I mean, I used to trade futures up until like 1. But since I started the server, like, I haven't been trading as much. Or at all, actually, since, like, I only trade futures now. I'm probably like between like 7 to 9, and that's it. But I mean, honestly, with futures, I mean, the thing with, I think usually after 1 or 2 o'clock, if we trend like this, I actually don't like this. Or this is not good for scalping, because if you're stuck in a short, you're screwed. But on, choppy days is very good for scalping. Your TB stop loss can be whatever it is, whatever your goals are. Like earlier this year, my goal was 2,000 a day with futures on each prop firm. But now, since I don't trade as much, now it's between 500 to 1,000. And then my stop loss, I just set it to 1K as well. But for each trade, I have as 350, so I can lose 3 trades in a row before my account gets locked out. If you get locked out, yeah, you can't trade for that day. Future volume sucks at 6 a.m.? No, not really. You still get pretty big moves. And I do minis market open, then I switch to micros. Even at 6 a.m., like if you just did one mini, we got like 100-point move during pre-market. Do you get frustrated with the cash account? No, it doesn't really affect me because I have a lot of accounts I trade on. Like that's one thing I've been telling people here, like don't mix your 1K challenge with the 3K challenge or your personal accounts. If you took a loss on one account, you move on to the next. You can trade it differently or hold longer or do whatever. Like that's why I really like trading with 3 prop firms. I can get stopped out on one of them, hit my daily loss limit, move on to the next. It'd be break even or positive, move on to the third. And prop firms are extremely cheap too. Like I think all 3 I mentioned, I think you can start all 3 of them with only like $200. And you can technically make like an infinite amount with them. For real, it's being recorded. I'll post it soon.